Good morning, people. Welcome back to MUFC Morning Brew Edition. If you have been sleeping under the rock, there was a lot of news breaking yesterday. This is Mick, of course, and this is my co-host, Mark Nurse. How you doing, Mark?
Big up, guys. Good morning to everyone. I hope you are well. I hope you're enjoying the day. It's a good Tuesday morning. Yesterday was an active Monday.
It is. And of course, in today's stories, what broke yesterday, it's going to be dominated by the Brantwaite bid. The second bid come in, but it's obviously been rejected, per my understanding. We're going to talk about Ugarte, very close to Manchester United. Apparently submitted a £38 million bid as well. What else? The exit of the Greenwood is edging closer on 28 million to OG Marseille, or is it OGS? Is it Marseille? OGS Marseille, as well. And plus, we have a surprise left back we're going to talk about, which came out of nowhere. And what other is to wrap this up in 40 minutes maximum with your morning brew. But you know what to do, guys. You know what to do. Like and subscribe, and we'll be back in 20 seconds. Please hit the like button. And the aim is to get up to 100 likes on this show, even if you're watching in retrospective. Good morning, stretch your arms and legs, because here we bid.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
I feel welcome. Dit is my home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
And success is what we are about to achieve, Mark, because never in my witnessing since Sir Alex left have we moved so fast on the market. We were only able to work on one deal at a time, but now we are doing multiple bids and outs and ins and outs. And yesterday you guys had a show. It was Jarvis's Corner, and the news just came thick and fast, breaking. Hence, while we're doing this special morning brew. So, how do you feel today, Mark, as a Manchester United fan? Talk to us.
Yo, I don't want to get giddy and I don't want to hype anyone up, but I feel pretty good. I feel pretty confident. It's changed. It's new to me. Never before have we been doing multiple deals at the same time. Normally we do one deal for 2-3 weeks, then that finishes, then we do another deal. Now we're doing 4, 5, 6. We're doing 4 incoming deals. We're doing 2 to 3, possibly 4 outgoing deals, and it's all happening at the same time. So I'm like, the multitasking is multitasking.
Even more. If you look at the background stuff, Vittel, the head of recruitment, came in. Yeah, we did the deal for Ashford in. Who else?
Oh, yeah, we did the 2 coaches from Holland as well. René Hacker and Ruud van Nistelrooy came in. All those things are happening
and the
at the same
coach
time.
In 1 week. And plus, negotiations for De Ligt seems to be very advanced. I think we are, that seems to be very advanced. But the one that is, here we go, very soon, according to Fabrizio Romano, is Xerxes. And there's something that we've been reporting for a while. That is going to be a double medical very soon. Depends on what happens yesterday. If England knocks out Holland in the semi-final, you see these 2 boys will sit on a flight to Manchester and do a double signing, holding up the shirt, and off they go on holiday. So we're not going to talk about the Lichten's Xerxes. That one is, we know it's going to be a done deal. No problems, right? Everyone 100%. Is significant. 99.7% it's going to be a done deal. Here we go. But we're going to talk about Brantwaite, of course. I am sick and tired of this saga, Mark, because this, according to my opinion, was the first Ineos bid that we saw in the since they took over. And obviously there was the stories that Everton needed the money. They needed to raise 50 million before the first, because not to breach FFP and PSR, to not get points deduction. But we already passed that mark, and we knew kind of thing that United will put in another bid. But I have another theory, Mark, as well. I have a theory. You want to hear my theory of what's going on here? It's all been out in public. It's all been out in public because I believe that if you look at it, the first thing that came out was Brentford. It was all out in public, how much we're going to bid, how much his salary was. I think there was United testing the waters to let the message know out to the rest of the world and rest of the club, hey, we are the new United. You're not going to take us for mugs. If we don't get what we want, we're going to walk away. And I think that this deal, what was it, 45 plus 5, right? Adds on to 50. They still want 70 million. I think they put it out in public, leaked it out to Chris Wheeler. That was also correlated then with Fabrizio Romano. That was apparently then instantly rejected. I think it's a Manchester United attempt. We're not gonna bid for this guy, but we're gonna let the public know that at least we tried. We're gonna let the fans know at least we tried, and we're sending out the message that hey, we are not gonna overpay.
Yeah, we're not mugs. We're not mugs. We're not taking the mug off this year, and it's good. I mean, I think we should definitely be setting limits on the price tag of certain players, whether we do it by position or we do it by value or terms of what the players bring into the club. I think Brantwaite is very talented. He comes with a lot of potential. The biggest thing for me, he's only had 1 year in the Premier League, so 70 million pounds.
And 1 year in PSV.
Exactly. The 1 year in PSV, I agree with. That's a good performance. That's a good breakthrough, getting to learn what you need to be doing. Then you come to the Premier League and you show your worth, right? So I agree with, let's say 50 million. I would even pay 50 million. But when you're telling me you want 20 million plus on top of that, I'm thinking, now you're taking the piss on us. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's too much. And we do good business with Everton. So I feel like it's one of those things where, for me as a fan, seeing that we gave them our young midfield talent last season for the cheap, less than 10 million pounds, I'm thinking they should be, a little bit negotiable with us, a little bit compromising to an extent. 50 million.
They're stupid. They don't have many assets to sell. Like, who do they have? Brentwaite is one asset, which they're thinking, we can get 70, 75 million for. The number 2 is Onana, the midfielder. These are the only 2 assets they can sell. And they're being idiots, according to my opinion. If I was them, I would take the bid to say, okay, 45 plus 5. But according to my opinion, he's not worth more than 35, 40 max.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You have Max Kilman, the captain of Wolves, 7 years Premier League experience, going for 40 million pounds, right? 7. And then you have this kid, Brantwaite, that wants 145k a week in wages plus 70 million. I think do the maths. So, Mark, I just say walk away. And I think that United are walking away. Like that song. I'm walking away with troubles in my mind. I'm walking 100%.
Away. Yeah? I don't know. Let's see what the reports are saying about this deal, because as we know, the bid was rejected yesterday. Let's see what they're saying, because in honest retrospect, Mick, I think it's a matter of course that the bid was going to be rejected. I think United already knew that. If you look at how they've been conducting themselves in the recent train of business that we've been doing, I think they've been doing it quite smartly. So in all fairness to them, I think this is exactly what you're saying. They make the bid to prove to fans, to everyone, to say, hey, we're at least giving them an option. We're trying to do this deal, but they're not sitting to the table and negotiating with us.
Yeah, I feel it's making a statement to the rest of the world and to the fans that we are the new United. We are just officially putting out there in public to let them know, and we will move on to the next target, which I rightfully think United should do. My opinion, Brentwaite, it's unproven, untapped talent. We know it could be a lethal opinion, but to pay that much money for a number 2 that they will rotate with Licha is not worth it. It's not worth it. I go to number 2 on that list, Giancarlo Inacio. Yeah. The reason per se is because he's multifaceted. He can play both left back and left center back. There's an instant player, because we know we need a left back, and he can play both roles, and he's available on 45 million release clause, right? So I don't know, man. I think this is a smoke and cloaking daggers, whatever they put in there, because they knew they're going to get rejected and they're going to move on. But it's a kind of a PR message to send to the rest of the world to say, look, this is the way we're going to negotiate. Let's move on. It ain't matter how much Brentford can put in a transfer request. At the end of the day, they own the contract, right? So anyway, Mark, big up everyone via rooms for making it this morning, 8:30 UK time, 9:30 Central European time, and my time in Thailand, 14:46, having my coffee, and I was actually freshly woken up. We have Gehan Oates in the house. Glenn Ratcliffe is here as well. We have Gordon McKenny, Jay United say good morning. Madhouse is in the house. Shay Arsenal, we have an Arsenal fan in the house as well. And let's kick on with the show. What are we saying? Gia and Oates, what you saying here? I have a feeling we will not let Brantwaite go. I expect another bid after this on 55 million plus add-ons taken up to 60. I don't think so, but that's your opinion, Gehan. If they don't accept walk away, United advertising, no mugs. I think that no, yes and no. I think this is the last chance saloon. We need to move on and secure another centre-back target before even we kick on. I mean, we're playing Community Shield in a month's time at City, Manchester City, and we need to get all the ducks into the order. I think we will move on from there. And this saga has been ongoing forever, been negotiating, talking to them. And I think it's just move away, What do you think, Mark?
I have been looking at the transfers, and if you look at the players that we have negotiated with so far and all the rumors of the bids that we have actually lodged, it's always been two.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone noticed that, but it's always been two. Look at the João Neves deal. It's been two bids. And then we said we're not going higher. Look at the deals that we're doing for Xerxes. We initially had initial talks, and then we went back in, and now we agreed terms, and we agreed we got everything above. We're about to do the deal. It's the same thing with Ugarte.
100%. And we're going to speak about that as well. But I just want to say good morning to our brother, Jarvis Cocker, that just woke up. Brilliant show of Jarvis yesterday. Congratulations. It was amazing 2 hours watch. Guys, if you haven't watched it, go watch yesterday with Jarvis Cocker's stream. He says Ten Hag needs Brentwaite as a left back, inverting to back there. It will be vital for the way he wants to play. Also, there is a chance for formation change if we bring wing backs. Kirk is Frimpong. Jarvis, you touched a nerve yesterday, which I've been singing for the last couple of weeks. Mark, I've been always saying, if you look at the way we're going to recruit, it looks like we're going to play with 3 in the back. And Jarvis kind of picked it up yesterday as well. I mean, we're going to talk about a new important left back that might come in as well. But I'd say, yes, I agree with you, Jarvis, there regarding Brentford. He can play left back. But I'm saying, for that money, walk away, get Inacio in who can do the same role. But even better, I would say so. I think it's the English tax. Walk away. Go for Nacho, go for somebody else. Anyway, what else are we saying here? Man United Planet, if open my eyes, and here Harry Maguire is not on the first team sheet, it will build 10-foot statue over whoever got rid of him. Yeah, big up. I think he's gone. I think they had conversations with both Lindelof and Maguire to say, you're not part of the squad. You can look for new clubs, You can scream and shout as much as you can. If you're Harry Maguire, you missed on Euros because of injuries. But I think there would be a massive exodus. I think Lindelof will go. I think Maguire will go. And I even think that Scott McTominay is advanced to go to Fulham at the end of the day. We're going to talk about that as one as well. Mark, what else is on your radar? You had some fresh reports there.
Well, there's some interesting news coming in. Not that anyone, I'm just going to, basically touch on this because it's not really big news or anything, but it's just simply the fact that Lenny Euro has... Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, so Lenny Euro has just sent a clear message. Real Madrid says they're coming to get him. So everyone knows he only wants Madrid. So we will be moving on from that, just to touch on that. But some interesting news coming in is Manchester United interest in this guy, Mick. And
this is the surprise left back.
Yes, this is a prize left back. This youngster has been playing really well, not only for his team. Jarvis was touching on some of his stats last night in his show. And this guy has been performing really well over the last season, not just his outstanding performances at the Euros. And most of all, his stats really show the quality of defensive capability and the fact that he bombs forward and provides going in attack. Very physical.
What's his name for the reference? He's a Turkish player, played in the Euros, but we're not just looking at stats of the Euros. We look at the overall stats for the whole year.
His name, this youngster. Hold on, let me find his name. I can't pronounce it too well, so I don't want to kill it. His name is Kadioglu. Yeah. Kadioglu.
Yes. There you go, Kadioglu. This came in yesterday, Kadioglu, because we are looking for a left, left fullback, right? I agree to the point what Jarvis's corner was saying yesterday. You can solve everything else. You can solve your centre back. You can solve your midfield. But the biggest problem what we had last season was the left back position, and that we cannot simply go into this window without having any fit centre backs. You can't count on Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw played himself fit to play for England. He worked his socks off for 4 months to get fit to England. But let's see. I don't think we can count on Luke Shaw. History shows itself that he can only play 48% of all his games, and nobody really knows what's going on with Marseille. So we need to have that one in. And also some reports to say we are willing to take back Reguilon back on the loan again, just to safeguard ourselves. But that one is interesting, Mark. That is interesting. I never heard about this kid before, to be honest. Put my hand up. Yesterday was the first time I read the reports. But what's your thoughts regarding this? What's his name?
Kadioglu. For me,
Kadioglu.
I think it would be interesting if we were to do a deal like that. It's 30 million euros and not pounds. So then, if you translate that, it's somewhere in the region of 22 million pounds for a possible deal to be done. I think that's pretty good price. You know what I mean? It also kind of draws me to this one other signing that is very possible. As you know, we've just did some business with Girona for Donny van der Beek, and he's on the move, and he should be clearing his medical by tomorrow. But the biggest thing for me is that we're doing business with Girona for the first time. And Girona have a very interesting left back called Miguel Gutierrez, who's
I know we've been reporting this. Ruby's been first one to be reporting this. Yeah.
And we know Jason Wilcox is a huge fan. Some of the scouts of United are a huge fan, and Ten Hag is obsessed.
Gutierrez.
With Miguel Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
It's going to be interesting because he's owned halfway by Real Madrid, who does not seem to be interested in triggering their 8 million buyback.
They have a buyback clause in 8 million, which they said we are not going to exercise, so you feel free. So the price will be a 35 million release clause. Euros, which is approximately 25 million, which is exactly the figure that's been reported in the media, that United are willing maximum to spend 25 to 30 million. But it's all depending on, Mark, how we are kind of finessing the other deals, right? Because apparently now we're going in 38 million for Ugarte, right? Which is shaving off a little bit. You're saving a little bit money here, saving a little bit money there. You look at the De Ligt situation, they wanted 50 million. We got it down to what? 38 as well? Something like that?
38.5 million pounds, which roughly is somewhere in the region of 45 million euros, which I think meets them in the middle.
Yeah, it meets them in the middle. So you see what I'm saying here? You're saving a couple of millions here, a couple of millions there, so you can shuffle that to other positions as well. So for me, Gutierrez is a no-brainer. I like Gutierrez a lot. Of course, Girona, the story behind that is, of course, Real Madrid sold them to Girona. They insert a buyback clause on 8 million, but they have a first refusal. But basically, they've informed Girona to say that we are not going to exercise that. Feel free to sell them. And there's a release clause on 35 million. United's been talking to him. They're crazy about him. Ten Hag is especially crazy about Gutierrez. Kirkish, I think it's one on the list. Milos Kirkish for Bournemouth, but Bournemouth wants silly money. I think that United will walk away from this one. So it's either going to be one of these three, this Turkish guy that you just presented, Gutierrez, or Milos Kirkish.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And if you look at how we've been structuring our deals, we've not been splurging. We've been doing it pretty efficiently. Like, look at that 38 million offer that we made for Ugarte. I think that's pretty bang on the money. I think it would get Paris Saint-Germain at the table to say, well, okay, this is fair. We've had him for a year. We haven't played him. We haven't played him much last season. Losing 10 millions really isn't that big of a deal. I think if we went in with a lower bid, it might be more difficult. But one of those things, when you look at Kirkez, I think Kirkez is a very talented left back that we would be interested in. But if you look at the price that he might be, somewhere in the region of 40 to 50 million pounds, I think that's a little bit more than we're willing to spend, although he is quite a talent, I would say.
We see. Bonjour, Anton. Ça va bien. Hello, sorry for my English. I'm French. I understood that. Have you got news for Greenwood to Marseille? Yes, we do.
Yes,
my
we
brother.
do. Stick around and we'll be bringing that to you.
Good morning to you. Bonjour, have a nice coffee, whatever you're drinking. We're having a double espresso. The latest, my dear Anto, was that Marseille is leading the race, submitting a bid on 28 million pounds, which is estimated in euros around 35 million euros. Plus, United are negotiating a sell-on clause into that, which will be 40 to 50 million. That is very advanced. I believe that Greenwood returned back to Carrington for training, but he didn't train. He spoke to the executives because he was getting sold. And I think that Marseille is the one leading the race. And I think he will have a stellar career there because the Serbia will develop him massively. He said no to Lazio, apparently. There was another bid coming in for another important club. I know there's some Premier League clubs sniffing around. But for me, Greenwood, it's the long goodbye. I think Marseille is the destination that he wants. So here we go. Expect, according to Fabrizio Romano, coming very soon as well. So we might have a couple of here we goes in the next couple of hours. If that breaks, my friend Anto, we'll be here live covering for you, my friend. That is exactly what I understood. Did I miss something, Mark, or was it exactly?
No, it's clearly that, and I agree with you. I think Marseille would be good for him, especially with De Zerbi. I think the type of winger he is, De Zerbi is going to love him and utilize him exactly the way he needs to be utilized, and he will have a good time there. You know what I mean? The best thing for me and what I think is that I would like him to get back to playing football somewhere he would be appreciated, and he wouldn't have to deal with, issues beyond football, because at the end of the day, he seems to me a guy trying to, redeem himself. If you look at his performance last season at Getafe, he had his head down, he played well. There was no reports on any kind of instances about him of being, aggressive or any kind of infractions like that. It was just mostly his performances was always said to be good.
Well, best of luck for Greenwood. He's still a Manchester United player, but still, I think he needed this move to play down in Marseille. Not bad, under De Zerbi as well. And if Manchester United inserts a sell-on clause, meaning a what do you call it, a first refusal plus sell-on 50%, exactly what Xerxes had with Bayern Munich to Bologna. Bologna only owns 50% on the sell-on value, which half goes to Bayern. The similar thing is what Manchester United are going to do. So he might do well at the French League, Ligue 1, and then they might sell him. He's still young, to a giant club, or we might even buy him back. There might be a buyback clause in there as well for a cheaper price. We don't know yet. But still, that is money in the bank later on if Manchester United is selling. So he can sort of increase his value. He's definitely going to be like a 90 million pound player if he succeeds. So if they sell him then afterwards, Manchester United get 40 million back into by doing nothing pretty much. So yeah, big up Mason Greenwood. Good luck to you. I know Mark, you're his biggest fan, but you know what? At the end of the day, we look at what's best for the club, don't we?
100%, bro. Like I feel like sometimes I get misunderstood. As much as I like a player, bro, the moment they are not a United player anymore, it's not like they're dead to me, but like it don't matter anymore. United is what's important to me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I want United to win. I want United to lift all those trophies that we were lifting back in the day, and I want 100%. Them to do it more consistently now.
100%. 100%. So, no matter what, we live. We how do you say? We want the same thing. We dream the same dream, So that is what we want. So big up to you, Kingdom. Good morning, people. Are you awake? Is the bloodstream flowing through your brains as of yet? Have you grasped what's going on the market? It's absolutely madness. Do us a little bit favor, people. We want a target of minimum 100 likes. It is absolutely free. Subscribe if you haven't to the channel. It's also free. If you smash that like button, looks like 2 thumbs like that, Mark. Can I see your thumbs as well, like this? Yeah. Guess what happens? You burn 1 or 2 extra calories, which is damn good if you're on a calorie deficit diet like Mick are. Anyway, let's move on to the story. Let's look at what the chat is saying. Roberto Antonio saying, such a pity we have let him go. Maybe we have a buyback clause. It is such a pity. I know the story was rumbling on, it created divided within the fan base, but you got to look at what the player wants. He's a family man. He's got his daughter. He's apparently getting married to the alleged person. And off you go. Alien Tenor, big up. Peter is in the house. Big up M&M's. I am the peanut M&M, and you are the what? Mark?
I am the one with the wafer inside, I guess.
Here you go. Have some sweets.
Big up,
next
Peter.
Time, you can read this comment.
Peter is saying, next time Everton want a player from us, we put an extra 10 million plus on them. 100%.
Plus.
You saying 10 million plus? I'm saying 15 million plus. We're in the top echelon of the Premier League. They're in the
We give them
bottom
Harry Maguire for 75 million, and plus the inherited in his granny that can make brilliant scones and cup of tea on the sidelines.
Royden, big up Royden. He's saying, Mick, I think you're missing Inacio as well. He has been linked to us as well.
No, Royden, I mentioned it very early in the stream. I made it sure that I made my mark on that because I've been singing on Inacio's hymn sheet for quite a while. I know he's the number 2 next in line after Brantwaite. So I think we will move on. We will call Sporting Lisbon to say, look, we're interested. Release clause, 45 million, take it. Boom, bash, bosh, right? Left-footed, can play left back as well, can play inverted, can do a lot of things. And for me, it looks like we are going to play a 3 in the back formation by the looks of it. You know, you will have Licha covering the grounds, you will have De Ligt covering the grounds, and then potentially have Inacio covering the left side and have the fullbacks of a new, exciting, prospective left back. Either it's Gutierrez, either it's Milos Kirkus, or it is this Turkish kid, what you just mentioned before. And yeah, and the latest news regarding Aaron Wan-Bissaka is no other than who is coming in for him, Mark?
It's possible we might be looking at the Turkish left back. Oh, no. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
No, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the one we're probably looking at. If we replace him,
Premier
it's
League
definitely
club.
going to be Frimpong. And if not, I think there's another option that we looked at. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, no, there was a news coming out yesterday that a Premier League club are very much interested. I think it was West Ham again. You know, there's going to be a bidding war for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I think we can get a minimum 15 to 20 million pounds. Right, there are clubs interested. We are edging closer. Maguire also out, edging closer. Scott McTominay to Fulham is seriously picking up legs because, you know, Palhinha is going to Bayern. Aish, Mia, good morning to you. And that means that as soon as that's been sold, that means that we need to go move on and buy another right back, which is Frimpong, right? Frimpong release clause is on 34 million. And this is astute business because United seems to go for release clauses, right? You agree personal terms with the player. He knows Manchester inside and out because he lived in Manchester. He's got a brilliant relationship with who? Wilcox, who actually brought him up in the City Academy. Bish, bash, bosh. So that looks like we are going to bomb forward. Like, you know, we're going to play 3 in the back, wing backs bombing forward. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see, Mark.
100%. And like, you know, if you look at some of the things that happen and United is doing good business. I think when you look at it, look at this. This is very true. Like I've seen advertisements for this position almost every day. Well, as you know, guys, I live in Germany. So, and you know, I meet a lot of Bayern Munich fans walking the street sometimes, and some of them I hang out with at the local, you know, Irish pub. And these guys always see me and be like, bro, it's not good. It's not looking good. You guys getting the lit. They're not happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's good business.
It's true what Folkboy is saying here. Like, is there any truth in
100%.
60,000? Yeah.
On Monday, on Saturday, it was 30,000. They created this petition like, I think it's a week now.
Right.
7 days.
That's telling me that fans are, you know, Bayern fans are salty. Bayern fans don't want to sell him. There's a player in him. The reason per se why he's not getting picked, I think in the Euros, there is something that called like you don't want to get injured. You get it. You know you're getting close. You want your dream move. He rejected PSG. He rejected Liverpool. He rejected everything. He only wants to come to play for Erik ten Hag. And I think I'm warming up to the idea. Such a ball carrier, such a good player in there. Together with another transformative signing, which is Ugarte. 38 million's gone into PSG negotiations. I think we're going to get that one over the line. But Ugarte is not enough. But at least you have that backline sorted. Ugarte, according to me, if you look at his stats, is more of a destroyer. Right? Really, he's not a ball carrier. He's not a great distributor of the ball. So you need 2 midfielders, one to complement him to play a double pivot. It's been also reports, Mark, to say that we are going to play a 4-3-3. We are moving away from that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mick, sorry about that. I was just saying hello to Echoes there. Big up.
Yeah,
wie geht's, mein Bruder? Alles gut?
Wie geht's gut? Ja, alles gut, alles klar, nicht verstehen, dumme Schweden, ja?
Mick, when you look at some of the things that's happening right now, I think everyone could be a little bit happy. You know what I mean? I don't think we should be too I won't say don't be excited, but I would say, don't get giddy. At the same time, Man United is doing good business. If you look at all the deals we're doing, we're strengthening in the spine first. We bring in a striker,
That's
a
what we
midfielder, a
need.
defender. That was most important. Big up to Echoes joining for a member for a month. Big up to you, broski.
Yep.
Hope you're well. And
Continue, Mark.
And it's like when you think about it, if we get those 3 players, we know they might not be enough in terms of well, Xerxes is coming to partner Hoyland, but we also have a young Ethan Wheatley coming in as a 3rd string striker.
Yeah.
So that's 3 strikers in our coffers. If Ugarte comes in, then you definitely know he strengthens our midfield. We also have young Collier coming in next season
100%.
as well as a backup.
100%.
So maybe we go get someone else, but that's dependent on if Casemiro leaves. If Casemiro leaves, let's say we sell Scott McTominay as well, you might see the signing of more than one more central midfield player. You might see 2 more players come in.
Oh, wait, you forgot Christian Eriksen. You forgot as well. He's going on a free. Casemiro,
exactly.
Scott McTominay. You need to replace 3 midfielders. It's like you at work. Yeah, if it's like you, the boss at work, you have 3 people leaving you all of a sudden. You need to replace them. The same thing 100%. Goes with teams of football. Yeah, man, we don't talk enough about the youngsters coming in. I mean, depends on how they do in the pre-tour, but we know that Ten Hag has sort of spotted, handpicked Collier to do a job this season in the number 6 role as well. And also Harry Amas, he's handpicked him for the left-back situation. Exactly. And we're also talking about a Rabiot for free as well from Juventus, which is going to pick up legs as well. And that is astute signings. You got a number 6-8 hybrid. But what I'm arguing to say that I agree what the lads were saying yesterday in Jarvis's corner, that an Ugarte by himself is not enough. We need a more ball carrier, and that might be a João Neves at the end of the day.
And a Rabiot. I just forgot about that because on Monday I was talking about the reason why the Donny deal is significant. Because Donny frees up 200 somewhere in the region of 150k UK
goes
right,
to Rabiot's
pounds a week. That converts to Rabiot's current salary, guys. Plus we get 500k initially on the deal, which further allows us to increase our spend in the salary cap this summer. So Rabiot on a free is that ball playing 6-8 hybrid that can do the ball work going forward. So when you look at Ugarte and you say you add Rabiot, then you look and you say, listen, we're going to need a statement signing. If you look at all the players we've looked at and we've been checking out all through the negotiations this summer so far, which one of those players strike you most as a marquee signing? And just like you're saying, Mick, to me, it's João Neves. It could only point to that youngster. It has to be him.
We've been quite consistent saying that, the fire that we've been hearing most this window regarding 2 bids is what you said, Brantwaite there, 100%. That was a deal that could not be made because they've been mugs. And number 2 is what I've been saying here all along, because there is the João Neves, which is the intermediate, not the agent, but intermediate, which is George Mendes, the notorious George Mendes, that wants to make amends for his fuck-uppery with Ronaldo, right? Because he lost face with Ronaldo in that story. So he's being intermediate, going back and forward between United and Benfica. And if you're an intermediate, basically you go out and you speak to Mark, how much are you willing to accept? What is the lowest bid? You say, well, I know the release clause is 120 million euro. I know we're not going to get 120 million euros. He's not been getting a lot of minutes in the Euros. Hence that he price didn't bump up, and we are in a little bit of a financial situation. We understand we can lower down the price. 70 million is a threshold. And then as the intermediate, I go back to United to say, listen, I spoke to Rui Costa. He said this and this and that. Fine, let's do the deal. I think that, as what you're saying here, there will be a marquee signing. There is more than 200 million to spend, 260. But in order to do so, you need to liberate players, positions in order to fill. So I think that João Neves will be the one that's coming at the very kind of end of the window in a way.
I agree.
Depends on.
I think that depends on. on a few players' outgoings as well. I think we might have to structure the deal where we play a large sum up front. And I think that's the way United are looking at it. Like, listen, let's get the most important deals done first. Let's get these players who we want to get for these prices first. And at the very end, we'll spend big so that no one else could tell us, listen, you paid 70 million for João Neves.
Yeah. People in the VR room, in the chat, if you're watching, let us know in the non-live comment section. Does it feel that we are doing something different? We are cooking up the perfect 5-course meal with all the ingredients, and we're just missing the cherry on the top, like, you know, the ratatouille or whatever you call it, the perfect filet mignon. And one person that should know this is Elian Tenno, because he's a 5-star Michelin chef. He knows what we're talking about. We have all the ingredients, background stuff is in place. We're moving bits on the market. We do multiple bids. It's exciting time. It's exciting time. It's mind-blowing in the way we used to be. So outs is very important. Greenwood looks like he's solid to Marseille. He wants that move. It looks like we're going to get a 50% sell-on. And another one is Jadon Sancho, who has been received another bid according to reports, but rejected it because he's waiting for Juve. He only wants Juve. Now, Juve has also said there have been reports that they offer us Chiesa. We said, no, we don't want a Chiesa, right? Move on. What do you think is going to happen with Sancho there? Like, you know?
Well, there are some reports that there's some interest in Chiesa, and there has been 1 or 2 clubs that have been looking at him and willing to take him on from Juventus. They expect a deal in the next 3 to 4 days, to a concrete bid to come in for Chiesa, which they are willing to accept. And if they accept that, their shift is to get Jadon Sancho as his replacement. Thiago Motta likes Jadon Sancho. The recruitment head of Juventus is also an admirer of his talents. They think the way he plays will impact Juventus greatly, and I can see them doing the deal in a matter of the next 2 weeks. I think you're going to hear something like Sancho deal agreed, terms agreed, and he's off to Juventus for a medical. You know, it's one of those things.
Mark, I also read reports that they see him as a Marquee signing as well. They see him as the Chiesa replacement as well.
Yeah, this is what they have been thinking over at Juventus. You know, they like the way he performs. They think they need a player with that sort of flair and ability, someone who backs himself to do well. And I mean, he has not shown it at Man United, but let's be honest, Sancho has bags of talent. He's very, very good at what he does. At Dortmund as a young player, he was getting 20 double digits in assists and goals for 3 seasons consistently. I think it's not something we can undermine in any way, shape, or form. Maybe we might not like the fact that he didn't do as well for United, but at the same time, we have to be honest. He is a talent, and in my opinion, I would be happy to see him perform well, even if it's not at United. You know what I mean?
One thing is for certain, Mark, and VR room, and everyone that supports Manchester United, this is a deal that cannot, sustain at United anymore. We need to get him out of the door as soon as possible. If Jadon Sancho wants Juventus, is per my understanding, they need to sell Chiesa or something else to raise funds. There's even talks of desperation that we are looking to sort of give him another loan with an obligation to buy for Juventus. But would you do that deal, like a loan with an obligation to buy, if you can't get him out of the door? Because apparently we're doing bits on the market. We are getting players out the door, so we can afford to do this loan, right?
Well, you know, if it's an obligation to buy where it's almost guaranteed that they're going to pay the money at the end of the season, I would do the deal. I mean, at the end of the day, the end result would be the result that we want, right? To get him off the books. And if we're going to get the same price guaranteed with a loan obligation, with a buy obligation, then so be it. But I think they will come in with a deal somewhere in the region of the one you're seeing for Mason Greenwood, 28 million, 38 million, 28 to 31 million pounds with some add-ons.
And look, if you manage to pull this through with Mason, 28 million British pounds, that is a pure profit, goes straight into the books. Very positive for the transfer market. You get, Sancho, the wages off the book. I mean, the way I've been analyzing the whole window is so unprecedented. The way we are conducting ourselves, actually committed to lower down the wage bill. De Ligt is willing to take a pay cut, reportedly 170, 190 a week. A lot of players coming in below the 200 mark kind of thing. And look, at the end of the day, it's very exciting. The window is still, how do I say, a couple of weeks old. There's still plenty of time to go to the end of August. But so far, so good. We are cooking up a storm. Guys, still, there is 200 of you this morning watching, drinking your morning brew. Whatever you're drinking, coffee, tea, do us a little bit favor. Support us, smash the like button right here, right now. Let's get it up to 100. It's getting hard in here, like Manchester United. Melis Kask all the way from Sweden as well. I think Melis is Swedish, I think. Good morning to you.
Big up, Melis Kask. Big up, bro.
Guys, let us know also where you're from in the comment section. Always interested to understand where our community is from. We know that Ikos is from Germany. Guten Morgen to you. Mein Bruder, Melis Kask. I have a suspicion he's Swedish or Scandinavian, so say good morgon. And that's about it. God, there's so much to talk about, Mark. So much.
Right. Let's just give them these other 2 bits of information, and if we have enough time, we can talk about something else.
Okay, next
story. I think it's interesting. I think this story is a bit interesting. Harry Maguire has been in Portugal training for the last couple weeks. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where he was there last summer training with Ricardo Carvalho, and he's back there again. We've seen his performance recently, you know, this season. Although he had ended the season injured, he had a very good season, in my opinion. You know, I'm one of his biggest critics, so I would say hats off to the guy for putting his head down and getting the work in, being one of our best performers in a dismal season at the same time. So I would expect this kind of performance from all our players, because it's one of those things that means to me what it means to be a Manchester United player. Keep your head down, work hard, do your business on the field. That's where you do your talking. Oh, Miles says he's Estonian, but I have studied.
Terre.
Big up to you, Miles.
Yeah, Miles is from Estonia. Oh, I remember Terre. That's like, you know, hey, something like that. Terre. Estonian. Correct me if I'm wrong, Melis Kask, but big up, brother. At least we know you're Estonian. You studied and lived in Sweden. Brilliant display. Brilliant. Mark, Harry Maguire looks like he's not favored. Harry Maguire looks like he's going to be going. Lindelof looks like he's been going out the door as well. We still have the young Willy Kwambala that can deputize as well. But it looks like at least we are going for 2 centre-backs, minimum 3 centre-backs. Might be. It is still early.
It is still early, and there's definitely some interest in Harry Maguire. There's been some reports that not only West Ham is also considering it. There's also some reports that one of the newly promoted teams coming up from the Championship are thinking of making him their statement signing this summer. I can't give you the exact name of the club. It's just reported that one of the newly promoted clubs will be looking at Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
You know, some people might think it's Leicester City. You know, I'm saying it could be Ipswich. You never know. At the same time, there's also some interest reported to be coming out from Germany for Harry Maguire. But I can't say for sure because
or Italy.
Yeah. He's performed well last season, so I would think that there would generally be some more interest than there was the season before.
I would generally happy to create a poll, but we are running out of space and time. I will not do a poll. But let us know in the non-live comments. Would you be sad to see Harry Maguire leaving? I think he did a great job last season. And what about McTominay coming up from Thomas Svedines? Listen, Thomas, from all the way from Sweden, Gothenburg, big up to you, brother, as well. We can only report what we're reading in the papers that, you know, the favourites to sign McTominay is Fulham. Due to that, Palinha is going to Bayern. And there are reports to say that they see him as a top target, coming in on 35, 40 million. And that's, my friend, together with Mason Greenwood, pure profit on the FFP books. You sell McTominay, you get 30, 40 millions, barabish, barabosh, plus 27 for Greenwood. That's mega. That is mega, right? In terms of what we can do in the market.
I mean, when you do the math with that kind of funds, it's almost like that's 85. That's somewhere in the region of 75 to 80 million euros. You know, João Neves price maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's the money that we get and then go for João Neves. You see how the transfer window is kind of interfluid with connecting the dots, which goes outs and ins and what's going on. Gaya Notes is saying, I would celebrate if Maguire left. I think a lot of people will celebrate because we are behaving finally like a footballing club. We're moving fast on the market. We got moves that Jagger. Nico AV, big up Mick and Mark. There's a real exciting transfer window to watch since the last decades. I mean, I agree with you, Nico. With controlling previous clown team 100%, with no clue in footballing IQ and structure, we are finally getting there now. This is what it is. Right, we are turning the page. Look at the backroom staff appointed. Ruud van Nistelrooy looks like it is a succession plan for Erik ten Hag. They didn't give ten Hag 2 years contract. They gave him 1 year extension, and they actually got in a Ruud van Nistelrooy, which is a very good coach as well, right? So that means that Ruud van Nistelrooy might be his succession. I believe that McLaren is staying. I believe that the only one going out is Mitchell van der Kaag. And Benny McCarthy as well. Moving bits, new goalkeeping coach, new pieces coach coming in. It's totally different. You cannot fail this time. You cannot fail with the right ingredient.
I would say we're finally at the required starting position that we needed to be. When we brought in Ten Hag, he wasn't allowed to bring in a coach that, you know, coaches for expansive attacking football in terms of the goalkeeping coach or the defensive coach or the attacking coach. He had to deal with coaches who were shifting their focus from coaching counter-attacking football to this new approach. But they were experienced coaches nevertheless, so I'm not trying to disregard their quality as coaches, but I'm saying it was not their specialty. So now he's getting coaches who this is their specialty. So you are going to see a qualitative improvement in the squad.
That means that Ten Hag, Mark, that means that Ten Hag can only focus to do his best job, just to be the head chef, right? Let the assistant chefs cook up, chop the onions, chop the garlic, chop the parsley. We are cooking a soup that is going to taste voila, right? That's it. Ain't going to be no French frog legs here, what Alien Tenor is saying. Can't wait. Old Trafford is called the bargain basement stadium and now only 500 million as well. Yeah, look, I understand. And this is what excites me. I've been banging this drum and blowing the whistle to say, you're not going to see sexy signings. You're going to see more of a system-based signing players, if you know what I'm talking about. People that can perform within the system, not because of the name of the shirt seller, right? Away from the commercials. We're seeing astute moves like, you know, you get a PSG player for what, 38 million, right? He was not wanted by PSG because they didn't rate him. They didn't want to play that system. They played Vitinha over Luis Enrique, right? So it wasn't Luis Enrique that brought him in. They brought him in for a certain reason. Luis Enrique came in and said, I'm not going to play that style of football. I'm going to play Vitinha. And he's been left out. But it doesn't mean that he's a bad player. Just look at Uruguay at the moment. He's doing madness. He's a destroyer. Then Matthias de Ligt as well. Fantastic move to Juventus. He learned his trait of defending in Italy, the dark arts of defending. Got brought over to Bayern by who? Nagelsmann, then got sacked, and Thomas Tuchel didn't favor him. He played bloody, what's his name? Dyer over him.
Exactly.
Dyer. Yeah.
Insane.
So now you see that, you know, even the Bayern fans are making a 60,000 petition. Why are you selling like the Ligt? So he's a baller. So we are moving bits of market. We're getting quality players, but not as the world beaters, like, you know, the Mbappes. And that goes back to what Ineos was saying. So Jim Ratcliffe was saying, we're not here to buy Mbappes. We're here to buy the next Mbappes, to create the next Mbappes. So the prophecy, the words is now coming to intuition. And that's what we are seeing at the moment.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And, you know, it's like, it's going to be interesting. We're doing really good deals at the moment. I think it's pointing towards a prospective, positive, you know, future endeavors for Manchester United. And I know some of you guys are thinking about, you know, what if we don't win the first 2-3 games of the season? I would say it's a little bit too early to be worried about that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, the contract, when you look at the contract that Ten Hag has, he's guaranteed a year, which means he probably won't be sacked until maybe December in the second year, which is 2025. Yeah. So I would say, look at it like this. This project is just hit the real reset button. We're bringing in players that actually fit the profile of the system, like KD is saying below. And
we're backing the manager.
And then you have coaches who can coach the system in every facet, and
Yeah.
this is a qualitative improvement. And guys, be excited for the fact that we're going to finally be doing what we have been doing. We've been trying our best to accommodate what we could do by trying to achieve what we want to do in the last
But
two
ladies
seasons.
and gentlemen, KD is touching a great point on what you're saying, Mark. This is a proper reset, a proper rebuild. The backroom stuff is best in class, already in place. Now we're recruiting in place that will fit the system. That means that they are backing Ten Hag. They're listening to who doesn't fit the system will go out. Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay. Big up Scott McTominay for your fantastic goal scorer record, but you're not good enough. Are you going to win us titles? No, you're not. So for me, this is the first bloody rebuild we've seen since Sir Alex Ferguson left, a proper. So I can only get excited and back it. And, every day that passes and all these transfer news, I know some people get mental health regarding that. Just wake me up when it's over. But look, guys, just take a step back and see, how did we perform last season? We used to sit there to the end of the transfer window and do panic buying, panic selling. But now we're doing multifaceted deals, right?
100%.
So
multi-layered deals. It's happening across the board, from exits to incomings, loans, swaps. I mean, you're hearing a lot of it, and they're doing it. They're which is, it's so weird. And guys, Alien, I think he's already gone. To be fair, bro, I think
no, they're gonna stick with him for some reason, because they always seem to stick with somebody that is the culture ambassador. Like Mickey Phelan was one of them, leaning on the brick wall, stinking up the place and getting free lunches. And McLaren is one of them too. Like, he's a dinosaur. He understands the DNA. He was the assistant with Sir Alex, and they keep him around as a feel-good mascot, I think.
Well, I mean, you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean, Alien? Like, in this situation, I could just thank our lucky stars that we're doing a lot of the dead work that we should have been doing. You know what I mean? We're going to get a lot of dead wood out. We're going to get some quality players coming in. We're going to actually add some talent on the bench who can compete with the starting lineup for the first time in a long time. Because my biggest qualm with Man United recruitment over the past decade were we would sell first teamers and only recruit for the first team.
Yeah.
So what was about the bench? It was never about that before. So now it's different.
I mean, at the same time, Ratcliffe is coming out to say, United fans needs to be patient. But the way we're moving in the market, the players that we are linked to, it looks like we are definitely not wasting time. And what's this to say if you look at who's doing rebuild? Liverpool with the Arne Slot there, the one that would be threatening this season will definitely be Arsenal. City's kind of a little bit falling off the rock. I think that De Bruyne will leave the club as well. Pep Guardiola is reporting that he's going to leave after 1 year and 115 charges. This is United's time. Empires come and go, right? The rise and fall of empires. And who's to say where we're going to finish next season? I don't want to get too giddy, guys. But definitely, we will definitely go top 4 there. We definitely
100.
go deep into the Europa League and all the cup competitions, right? According to you, Mark, where do you think, if everything goes well, do you think we will have a chance to finish there up in 3rd, 2nd, 1st, even, like everything goes into the right plan with squad depth rotation?
I feel like if things work out in I won't say in the best possible case, but I would say in a circumstance where everything works out on a mean, like good enough, right? Like to the expectant standard, not to the phantasmal standard, but to the expectant standard. I think if we get consistently good performances, with the improvement of the goalkeeping coach and playing out from the back in Tan Raula, with Van Nistelrooy, we're going to get improvements to the attacking, the way we attack. Our strikers are going to get someone who could really give them the right advice in how to attack and what to do, for someone who's experienced and very clinical when he did it. And he's also a good coach. And then if you look at some of the players coming in, it's going to be a qualitative upgrade on some of the players that we've had before them, especially in terms of suiting the way United wants to play going forward. So I would say in this situation, we'll probably finish maybe a final berth in the Europa League, where we play in the final or in the semi-final, somewhere there. I think we could definitely retain the FA Cup, probably play in the finals of the Carabao Cup, and fight for top 4. You know, and when I say
we will
fight for top
see, we
4,
will see.
yeah.
It's too early to speculate, but of course, as fans, we can only fantasize. But you mentioned something, you nailed it there, Mark. You nailed it a bit, because we have specialty coaches, which is best in class in what they do. You mentioned the goalkeeping coach, Ten Ruvelar, what's his name?
Ten Rowler.
Yeah, Ten Howler.
Rowler.
Howler.
Ten Rowler.
The Howler. He did the 10 Howlers.
Or 10 Ruler. Oh, I think it's 10 Ruler, but
Ruler.
I think I've been saying it the wrong all the
goalkeeping
time.
coach. Then you have best in class, the best goal scorer ever lived, the planet, almost like, you know, the goal poacher, Van Nistelrooy, which definitely, I think that if Rashford's staying with Xerxes playing that back against the goal, the number 9.5, the upgrade on Martial, you might see that, you know, you play with Xerxes playing a little bit more deeper, linking up the play and arriving late to the box. Who is better there to coach than Van Nistelrooy, to get best out of Marcus Rashford, motivate him? You know, Ruud doesn't take, you know, crap. He just say, work your heart off, like, you know, drop your cock and grab your socks.
Oh, KD's giving us the proper pronunciation. This is the right way to say it.
Ruveler.
Yeah. Thank you. Roveller, yeah.
Did you say Roveller? God damn, Roveller.
No, but
think it's
I mean,
Roveller.
it has to be.
But you get my point there, Mark. You get my point. So you get the
Mhm.
best in class defensive. You get the midfield, the expert in terms of Van Hake. What's his name as well? He's good defensively. Rene Van Hake. You have offensive. You have all the sunset pieces, goal coaches. It's going to be better. The way I thought that Ten Hag failed because they didn't back him with his coaching staff. They just got him. You can only bring 2 or 1. But now they're just overhauling the whole rest of the lots.
Jay,
cool.
Don't worry about this. This problem is going to be taken care of by the academy. There are 7 youngsters set to be promoted to the first team. They're going to be traveling on preseason tour. I wanted to remind you guys, the preseason tour is different this season. It's 1 team. It's not 2 teams. There's no youth team and senior team. It's just a senior team. And everyone that's going there is fighting for a position for sporadic rotation or proper rotation player. You know what I mean? Important squad roles. So,
which is another way to get Grok crazy, to get more excited in a way, because we never talk about the potential academy players coming in for squad rotation and depth. We talked about Harry Amos being tapped out, Collier being tapped out. We have Ethan Wheatley as the 3rd choice striker as well. We have Shea Lacey as well. We have Dan Gore Jr., a lot of good players to be excited about, to be integrated. And all of a sudden, when you look at it with all the ins and the outs, United are building a fucking good squad, to be honest, right? 100%. Blended in with youngsters and experience. And one can just only be excited because that is the DNA of United. You know, you're good enough, you're old enough, you play the youth. And King says, listen, from what I'm hearing, we are gutting the squad. Yeah, we're cutting the weed. We are not sponsored by Manscaped, but we're here to trim the yard to make the bush look. Trim the bush to make the yard look bigger.
Trim the yard to make
the weed.
Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger.
Yeah, it is one of the reasons, according to Yolle Malmin, that we are keeping Heaton as a. I think this is a smart move to keep Heaton as a reserve goalkeeper. Right? You don't 100%. Want to keep this young Turkish. What's his name? Altar Bayandi there, wasting his career, just sitting there, never getting minutes. So keep a Heaton, which is not expecting to get minutes. He's just there to back up the first keeper, and also an Evans as a potential coach. Exciting times ahead.
Yeah, and you know about the goalkeeping. If you guys want to know, I think his name is Tim Cook, a youngster he's coming out from in the League Two or the Championship somewhere. I think we're interested in him. You know what I mean? He's a goalkeeper. I think he's 19, but you know he might want the option to get more game time. So I can't say that. But there's also a youngster coming out from our academy, under 21 goalkeeper. I will be talking about him a bit later on this week when I do the little scouting report on the youngsters who are moving from the academy.
Okay, guys, we are running soon to extra time, which is normal if you watch the Euros and Premier League VR time. But all we need is for you to smash the like button. There's over 300 watching right now. Get us up to 100 likes, please. We're going to finish off the story with shirt numbers, Mark, according to what you have on the stage. So basically, United squad shirt numbers confirmed. What is Rasmus Højlund going to get?
Well, I haven't read the article yet, but let's read it together, guys. You know, Ineos at the helm have already overseen a sea of change within the club hierarchy. Movement now is expected in terms of personal head of the new campaign. You know, there's an aim to build upon the sturdy foundations that Erik ten Hag built in his first season, but deserted in his second season. And there's some interesting changes that might be coming to kit numbers. There's plenty of shirt number movement ahead of the 23-24 season, with De Gea's number 1 being taken by backup goalkeeper Altay Bayındır, Onana opting for 24. Mason Mount took the faded number 7 and endured an injury-rapid campaign, while Rasmus Højlund with the number 9 unavailable donned the 11 after joining from Atlanta. But there will be some movement.
So Højlund might get number 9 then.
That's what we're thinking. Martial number is up for grabs, and United's newbies have plenty of options in regards to shirt numbers this summer. The number 3, which was vacant last season, remains an option for a new defender, and United could add a left-sided centre-back or full-back to their ranks. Raphael Varane's number 19 is also on the table after he left the club following the expiration of his contract. You know, meanwhile, any new striker might be eyeing up the number 9 if it doesn't go to Højlund. The numbers 13 and 15 represent less desirable teen alternatives, while 26, 27, and 30 are other options for new additions. Of course, the other numbers will open up should current playing staff be moved on.
Okay, so, brilliant. So I think Rasmus Højlund, what King is saying here, will be number 9. Xerxes, what number might he take on? 11, potentially. Greenwood leaves.
Potentially. I
or
think
11 might be given to one of the Garnacho, for instance.
Maybe. I think Garnacho might be keeping the number 17. I think it's kind of his thing. Is either he gets the 7 or he keeps the 17, because he's always had a 7 in his number. So it's one of those things for me. I think Xerxes will be donning the number 11 next season. You know,
which means 11 goals next season, Zerk, and 27 for Garnacho if you keep the 27, but not Rasmus. Yeah, you know exciting times, guys. It's really exciting. The shirt numbers are up for grabs. The new kit launch is there. I just ordered myself the sexy third kit away, which is the Adidas Retro. It looks so sexy. Don't worry, I ordered it from China. Counterfeit. I'm not still going to support the Glazers. So in order to wrap up the stream, Maino will retain the 37 and the disgrace of number 7. Will he become good this season? He hardly played for United.
Actually, I think Maino's number might change, and that's might be one of the biggest things. I think he might be donning the number 19 next season. I'm not too sure, but I think that might be the number he might be given.
He's 19. He might get 19. You never know. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the stream, guys. We are entering extra time. We're not going to go to penalties. So much things to talk about. A lot of news that came out yesterday, but we're moving bits on the market. Rejected seems to be, if we summarize, United seems to move away for Brentford, unless they come in at the very end of the window and say, all right, we'll give you 60. Well, I don't think so. I think they're going to move away. They're going to move from the secondary target, which might be Gonzalo and Nacho as well. They can do their role as well. Mason Greenwood, what's going on with Mason Greenwood, Mark? He's probably going to be off to Olympique Marseille, somewhere in the region of 28 million pounds plus 50% from his next sale. I think that's a bit low for a player of that ability and talent, but at the end of the day, we know what the issue is, and we know that we want to get the player moved on. The player needs to play football, so I think it's a good deal. I think it benefits both parties. I think it helps Manchester United greatly. It helps the player. It's what we need to be doing. Yeah. Sancho seems to be going to rejected a bit. He only wants Juve. We'll see what that happens as well. Juve is trying to sell Chiesa first as well. In terms of outs, it looks very hot and prospect. Maguire has been told to leave, look for another club. McTominay looks like he's nailed on for Fulham as well. We might get recuperate another 35-40 million. Potentially, like, you know, if we raise for Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay, we might even end up getting 60 million, 65, 70 movie bits on the market. Pure profit, FFP, I don't think that Rashford will be going at all. I don't think. PSG might offer another bid, but I don't think so. I think he will benefit under Ruud van Nistelrooy as the coach and playing with Xerxes, a similar Martial type. Xerxes deal looks like it's going to be here we go, according to Fabrizio Romano. It's just no matter of when. I think De Ligt is also going to be a double Dutch signing. We are linked to a surprise left back as well, which I cannot pronounce. It's a Turkish Kadioglu. Yeah, so we're looking at Kadioglu, we're looking at Gutierrez from Girona, and we are looking at the Milos Kerkers from Bournemouth. Exciting time. Latest reports regarding Aaron Wan-Bissaka leaving the club as well. There's Premier League clubs coming in. Crystal Palace has been reported they want him back. West Ham is in the race. We're looking to sort of finally sell players in order to buy. Exciting times. We are here live today, this morning. Hope you really enjoyed the show. Mark did a brilliant video earlier this morning. Go check it out as well. And I am going to now go hit the gym and do a 30 minutes cardio session. And I'm going to do chest and triceps today. And I will not be back tonight. I don't think so. I'm busy. Got to do a dentist, put in my crown. I've been doing root canal. Unless something is breaking, we will come up and do a video if we have a here we go. But guys, thank you so much for letting us pump up this energy this morning. I hope we made your day. We had a brilliant say, me and Mark. Mark, where can people go and find your video? Let people know.
Guys, if you want to check me out, I don't have the channel link in the description today, but we will put it in sometime. I'm at Mark and MUFC fan, but you could always also find me on MUFC Realist TV because, you know, guys, this is also my home. You know, Mick and these guys, they always have some of the best news. They keep a fair view on things, how they view everything. So I feel like, you know, it's one of those things. But if you want, I'll drop my link in the comments, guys. For those of you who don't follow me, who would like to maybe check out my content, and the link is there so you can check it out. But the only thing I wanted to say really last is I have a little joke for everyone. You know, they call Phil Foden the Stockport Messi, but guess what they call Kobe Mainu? They call him Kobe. Let that sink in.
Hey, I gave Kobe a name last season. I called him Magic Mano. Like Kobe Mano. Kobe, you know Magic Kobe, right?
Yeah, Magic Kobe. But, you know, I just thought that was so funny because, you know, normally they always liken players to a past player that we've seen before. But then there's some players that they're so good, even though they remind you of other players, you just give them their own nickname from their own name. And it's just what they call Kobe in Manchester, as opposed to what they call
Gliding Kobe, Magic Kobe, Magic Mano. Anyway, Magic Mano is my nickname for him. You know, it's cold. He's stone cold. Guys, before we leave as well, just want to take this opportunity to say, everyone, thank you for being a member. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for smashing the like button. But most importantly, if you want to know more news, check this out. mufcrealisttv. Get all the latest Manchester United transfer news, and also put your say into the transfer market in terms of the new created transfer rating system as well, and Hotometer to see where we are. Mick Mano is not my name. My name is Mick Ruby, and I gotta go. I have to go. It's time to say goodbye, people. Thank you for tuning in. Big up Mark. Big up everyone. I hope we made your day by having our say. We will be back if there is something breaking. I do expect Here We Go is coming out soon, very, very soon. There is a fight between Ornstein and Romano, and I think that Ornstein is killing Fabrizio at the moment. Ornstein is doing a madness. Until then, people, glory, Manchester United, and what do we say here? Peace, love, and
go bananas.
Go bananas. Have a good day, people. Talk to you later.
Big up, everyone. See you later, Milas.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.